All right. Okay, so let's just settle. On the eve of this Thanksgiving holiday, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and check your posture. Try and bring your mind to the same place your body is. And just make sure your spine is straight, shoulders align with the hips, and imagine your spine as this string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And tip the head slightly forward. Eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose, tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth, and relax the jaw. And then bring your mind or your attention or your awareness to the crown of the head and just relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the jaw. And release any tension in the back of the head. Back of the neck, shoulders, allow the shoulder blades to drop down. Release any tension in the throat and the chest, belly, arms, legs, hands, fingers, feet, and toes. And just release any tension. Just relax, but still keeping your spine lengthening. So you're getting a little bit taller. And then just notice what's arising in your mind. Just keep that there. Allow those thoughts. Notice if there's any sound in your environment, just allow the sounds to be there. Come back to the mind. And whatever it is that is arising, just notice it. Try not to judge or criticize, have opinions. Just allow those thoughts to arise. And just move on. You're like a scientific observer, just watching objectively. So we just put ourselves on the bank of our river and allow those thoughts. Watching the river. And while we're sitting on the bank, we're free from the river. So bring to mind all those people of our life, our loved ones, friends, our besties, some of whom we will be spending time with tomorrow. Maybe there's some people you are going to be seeing tomorrow who you haven't seen for several years because of COVID. And then there's those people in our life who we find a bit difficult. You might be seeing them tomorrow as well. And then there's those strangers. And just think, if you are in a room tomorrow at some kind of event where there are all those three types of people, maybe it's a good time to practice trying to imagine what it would be like to have this equanimity towards all. You're always going to feel a little bit closer to your loved ones due to karma. But perhaps try to lessen the distance that we feel for the person we don't like so much. And then open our hearts a bit for the people that we just take no notice of. They're all the same. as us. They wish to be happy and they wish to be free from suffering, and in having this incredible capacity for this enlightened mind. So I think we'll do this meditation tonight for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. So just remembering there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind, so we can change it by creating positivity with our mind. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And just think of specific actions of both your body and your speech. And then maybe in general, regret all. And regretting is based on this logic of karma. So we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering. So think, I regret from the depths of my heart, having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And then think, also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. We turn to the Buddha, the doctor, Vajrasattva, who has the methods we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing Buddha to forgive us, we're purifying ourselves by relying upon his medicine, his methods. So you can imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher, if you wish, manifesting in this form or this aspect for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. This lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud, just like our enlightened potential, born out of our delusions, yet untainted by them. And he has this beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, symbolizing enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, this is also part of the refuge section, we need to rely upon other beings. So the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So compassion is a wish for someone to be free from suffering. And then we also think of the people who've harmed us. Because of the harm that they've caused us, they're going to suffer. So we think of them because of that. And then we make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings. So I think I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the actual medicine, which is doing the practice. So we start with the purification of the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sutam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there is no way you could do anything but benefit others now with the body. So the next is a purification of speech. And again, Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown, filling your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one item left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech, careless speech, useless, talking about others behind their back, lying, just all these things that kind of like end up causing trouble for others and for yourself. Imagine all this is purified as we recite the mantra, and imagine the nectar. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Aham Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dinapatita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita tita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita tita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified. And imagine there's nothing else you could do other than benefit others with your speech. So the next is a purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva now very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra. And this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just imagine that as the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and neediness and anger and depression, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, all instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita tita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita tita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita tita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita tita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita tita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita tita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita tita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which is the source of all of our own suffering, the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely dispelled, gone. And now imagine there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness, expansion, creativity, wisdom, bliss, compassion. So next we purify the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So just imagine light and nectar pouring in, filling you completely, and eradicating even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita tita meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mata vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me bawa sutokaya me bawa sipokaya me bawa Anarakta me bawa sawa siddhi me yata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva aham pe. So just feel completely purified. Not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So finally, the power of resolve. So just bring to mind something that you've been working on or you would like to work on. Maybe tomorrow, if you're seeing many, members of the family you haven't seen for a while, or there's some difficult members and more loving members or whatever, good idea, good time to start working on our speech. Just refraining from opinions and gossip. So I think maybe tomorrow we can all work on our speech. And then just rejoice in your efforts. And Vajrasattva, delighted with us, wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my Guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So just think this idea of emptiness, things not being perhaps actually the way they're appearing to us. That's just all you need to think. Maybe that isn't exactly the way it really exists. So that's a good way to start. Just question. All phenomena are empty. They do not exist from their own side. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, to yourself as you move along your spiritual path, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the wish-granting, wish-fulfilling jewel, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparably kind Tenzin Gyatso I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjanath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers, honoring the three jewels, savor of myself and others, your disciples, please live long. And for Lama Ursul, Venerable One, to you whose kindness exceeds that of all the conquerors, for those wanderers in far-off places, especially the West, Mindful of your loving concern for us in intentionally descending again into a family of a far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please, please live long. Vajrasattva, beloved teacher, leading your students toward wisdom and compassion, explaining through exacting discernment the steps of the graduated path. You are the unequal guide. Please live a long and stable life. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so very much. For those of you who are celebrating with family and friends tomorrow, have a wonderful day. I heard all about how difficult turkey was to cook today in the New York Times podcast. I had no idea that turkey was quite difficult to cook. But one of the things that we didn't do today, Lama Zopa Rinpoche always, and I guess this should have been done weeks ago, but Lama Zopa Rinpoche always likes to think and dedicate for all the turkeys that have been killed for tomorrow. There must be just thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of turkeys that have been slaughtered. And they're such a big animal too, anyway, just feels a little bit difficult. So sort of think of all those turkeys. And even if you're eating one, if you do happen to be eating a turkey tomorrow because you're at someone's place and they've already cooked it for you, remember to do medicine Buddha mantra and blow on the meat. So that's always helpful to do. Okay, everybody. So, and also I want to say thank you, Shayla, for all your extra work this evening. You've been doing a lot of extra stuff too, so thanks a lot for that. And Michael and Mary.
Thank you, Venerable. Thank you, everyone.
Coral. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Venerable Katie.
No worries. Thanks, Kim. Thanks, Victor. Nice to see you. Thanks, Lorraine, Elizabeth, and Hin. Have a wonderful day tomorrow.
Yes,
Okay.
everyone.
Lots of love, everybody. Okay. Bye.
So great.